Let's try this again. So this is my third round today of trying to film this, but things keep on getting shut down. So let's just move forward and pretend like that none of it happened. It is just, hello. My name is Carrie and I have neuroendocrine cancer, stage 4, grade 3 of the lung with metastasis. I'm doing this week is just a recap of my first week of chemo and what that was like for me. I'll give you a little backstory there too, but not too much because I don't want to keep it boring. Anyway, so I have neuroendocrine cancer of the lung with metastasis, and part of my metastasis was um, to my ovarian area. It's also in my, pelvic bone and other places. But so I recently had to have a removal of most of that area in the last couple of weeks. And then I started my chemo or radiation just after the surgery, and then finished up my radiation and just did my first week of chemo this past week. So I have the way that my chemo looks is that I have 3 days in a row of my chemo, which includes my chemo cocktail of carboplatin and etoposide. And then I get some other infusions throughout that time as well. So for me, I just wanted to share my experience of what it was like for me. I do have to say up front, and this goes for everybody, I'm sure that other people who are going through this can say all the same stuff, that everybody's experiences are going to be so very different. So my experience doesn't mean that I'm saying that's your experience or vice versa or anything like that. I'm just stating just what's going on for me. And for me, I decided to use YouTube as a place for me to have my own version of self-therapy there too. My friends and family are so supportive and I appreciate them so much, but there's also a lot of headspace to go through when you're going through all this too, that sometimes it's hard to understand until you're actually voicing it out loud because of like what gets stuck up here versus what comes out of your mouth, two very different things, and so we can process it a little bit easier. I'm also recording this too for my kids because then they can look back at it whenever they feel like it and understand this information in bite-sized ways for them that's appropriate for them. Because I don't want to give too much information, but at the same time they're old enough that they can pick and decide what information is good for them and serves them at that time too. And that goes with my friends and family too. So I appreciate you guys watching and I appreciate you guys supporting. I love you so much for that, and I can't thank you enough for your support. And so to go into with my chemo, though, I had my chemo on the 4th, 5th, 6th of this month, and then I didn't start getting effects of that until a couple of days later, and then boy, did full effects come in. This is like the first day since in 10 days that I've been basically able to function whatsoever. It has just been really intense. I mean, like to the point of where I'm not able to hold anything down as far as food or drink. Today I've been able to, I got a chicken breast. I ate a chicken breast that was good. And I've had tea all day. So I've been able to hold that down. But right now it's more about like listening to my body and what it really needs and not going beyond that. So it's a lot of low carb, low fat kind of options for me, and which feels amazing to do that. So going back to it too, the side effects were so bad for me that yesterday I had a doctor's appointment. I have a PICC line in here, and let me show you. So on the PICC line, you can see up top here, I have a serious allergy to adhesive. So this is like the nicer parts, but everything underneath this adhesive is covered in that. So for me, my PICC line, they do the IV through this so that it just goes directly to my system for the chemo, and so it doesn't burn my actual veins as it's going through, because chemo is notorious for that. And every doctor is going to have their own reasonings for doing PICC lines or ports or whatever. But in my case, at first, we decided on the PICC line, but because this is going so poorly, we are going to switch to a God, this is just so bad. We're going to switch to a port next week, which will be implanted underneath my skin, so that way they can do access my chemo and any type of IVs and stuff like that through that area instead. Actually, I'm not sure if it's going to go on the right or left. But it should be somewhere like right on either side. Kind of think of it as almost like a dermal implant. It stays in as long as you are doing, as doctors feel like it's necessary. And for me, it'll definitely be through until April at least, but probably a lot longer. I'm not sure if I'll end up doing another whole, full session of chemo after this port just because of, excuse me, just because of my own life decisions in this. So chemo was pretty difficult. And then because I had that surgery and the surgical menopause, the side effects of that was so dramatic. I mean, it's just, I wouldn't wish that on anybody. It's one of the hardest things to go through. And regular menopause, you have time to kind of shift your hormones, get their highs and lows, and know slowly about what's going on. Sometimes people will go in a little bit faster into their menopause as you age than not. But when it comes to surgical menopause, you don't get a choice whatsoever. Not that you ever got a choice in regular menopause, because sorry, please, who really wants that? No, nobody. Okay, nobody, except for when going through menopause. I'm telling you, you're an absolute goddess. Just know that I think of you as an absolute goddess. But when it comes to surgical menopause, it just completely boom. All of those hormones are taken away right then and there, and you are left with the side effects of what happens. And let me just say, not my finest times, not my finest times at all. And so I just wanted to share that with you guys. So I'm going to be getting my port in next week. My twin brother is going to take me to that, which I'm super excited about that because we get to have some sibling time together. And this will be my 11th surgery since April. So it's been a lot of surgeries. Right now I've got the whole drill down. We're going to do a COVID test again tomorrow. And just want to let you know how it's going. But I totally forgot. So chemo brain is for real. Look it up on the internet. Lots of people have their understanding of it. And boy, let me tell you how forgetful. And then you mix that with surgical menopause, and I just feel like an entirely different person. But what was I gonna say? Oh my God, I was talking about the PICC line, talking about surgeries. I was talking about being nuts. Yep, definitely nuts. Loving my family. Oh, good God. I can't remember what I was going to say. Anyway, that was my first week of chemo. And that's what I was going to say, is that because I was doing so horribly yesterday at my appointment, they flushed me with more fluids and steroids in my system, which the steroids will help not only with the hives, but also helping me feel like I'm blossoming more. And I've had, so many of the steroid stuff before over the amount that I was supposed to. And if I already said that in this video, I'm so sorry. I'm not kidding you. Chemo brain definitely makes you very forgetful. All right, we'll talk to you later. Bye.